Hello guys, welcome back to Lytude, and sorry I haven't been posting too long. It's because I've been working on Blender stuff, and I hope many of you already know Blender. We use it to do 3D animations such as these, and it could look realistic and high quality if you really put much effort into it. And today I'm going to be showing you guys how to create a city looking place. It's not going to be high quality, it's going to be low poly. This is useful for like distant cities, just those that aren't in the viewport, those that are far away and you don't want it to ruin the speed of your viewport or like the render time. You could use the particle. It's really helpful. So now we are in the object mode. We're going to go to edit mode to edit the default cube. And you want to shape it in like something that looks like a city. Just like cubes in a city. You could follow what I'm doing but I'm going to speed this up for time's sake. You could slow this down if you're a beginner or like you want to follow what I'm doing. And one quick note, I'm not going to do exactly the one I did. Like the one with the roads and cars and a car in it. I'm gonna create the video one, the low poly. If you want the one I did by myself, it took me an hour to do it. If you want that one, you could download it in the description, or you could just use yours or something. Just create something that's like buildings. So now you're on the last building. You can add as much as you want for high details. You're gonna add everything to a collection. Title it anything you just want right now. It doesn't matter, but add it to a collection. After that, you're gonna move everything aside. Set the cursor to world origin. And then you wanna add a circle. So it looks flat at like all angles you look at it, and you're gonna fill it with something. So now you're gonna scale that. I'm gonna put it times, I think 200. It's gonna be enough right now. Okay, 200 is gonna be enough. Wait, let me adjust the view. I'm gonna make it like 10,000 so you could see from like far away. So now we're gonna go to particles, the main part. We're gonna click on new. We're gonna add hair. And we're going to render it as, we're going to click advanced. Then we're going to render it as a collection, which is going to be the building collection. Now what you're going to notice is you're going to start seeing buildings on top of it, like the floor, which is the circle. So you're going to scale it up more to see more. And then you want to click, and then you want to make the rotation on the Z axis. And then you're going to click on the rotation. You're going to rotate it on the Z, on the Y axis. So it's standing up straight. Looking great. So now you notice the camera doesn't see far away. You're going to set that to make it see far away. You're going to click on the camera, remove it out the building collection. And then you're going to set that to something you could see, something you prefer to see from far away. So now you can see the top of the building. So when you go to rendered view, like the reality mode view, you're going to start seeing the effect we just created using the particles. And that's not looking good. I see the lights are like in the buildings. So you're going to take that out and put it in the collection so it doesn't set that to. And you're going to increase the brightness of the light so you can see even better. I'm going to set that to like 100,000. Now if you notice from the camera view, it looks good. And I don't like this building. I want to take it out because it just doesn't look good. And there's a lot of like good buildings. There you go. You have a city looking thing for now. And then I'm gonna add a flat building just so it looks like, you know, the other small buildings. When you notice in the city, there's gonna be small buildings too, not just big, tall buildings. And then I'm gonna scale these to make it bigger. The reason I'm not scaling it in the particle just so like these ones too look big, not just the buildings. And there you go, it's looking great, not bad. I'm gonna change my engine to cycles. This is the reality mode. It makes things look better because it does the calculation of the light, so it looks better. You can notice how glitchy it is just because it's shown. So now time to add textures to the buildings. And I'm not good at explaining these, so I'm gonna just say it's good if you go watch YouTube videos on how to add textures on stuff. But you could use mine, but I'm gonna speed it up for the sake of the time of this video. So if most of y'all don't already know, texture is like adding an image to an object instead of just painting it, like just making it a specific color. You could add like an image, add your face to an object, and then assign which faces you want you want the object to have the image. So if you can see the buildings I'm adding, they're having a real life image on the body instead of just colors of like white colors. I just pasted an image. I didn't do UV unwrapping. I didn't take any time on this. I just literally just pasted the image and I didn't assign it to the top just so it looks white on top. Like there's no glass on top of the buildings. So yeah. So right now, I think I'm done adding images to the buildings. If you could see, one of the images I added even have a watermark on it, but from afar it's not going to show. If you look and notice, the white building has a watermark in the middle. Just doesn't matter, just paste any glass image on the body. So now I'm going to enable the particles back, and now you can see we have buildings with colors on it. Not colors, buildings with like textures on it. So now I'm gonna add a vertex just to paint the part I don't want the buildings to be on. So you're gonna draw a line where you don't want buildings to be, and okay, I think I figured out what the problem here is. The circle I added could not be subdivided because it was it was like an empty spaced circle. So I couldn't subdivide it. That was the error I made. So I had to go back and delete the circle, but not the buildings. And delete the circle and then add a first circle instead. But instead of using the end gun thing, I used the triangle fill so you could be able to subdivide it. So what we're gonna do now is create a new vertex. You can name this anything literally. And then we're gonna go back to weight paint. Now if you notice, we could paint And if you notice, we could set it for now. If you notice, we could paint on it. So now we're gonna paint on the path that we want our cities to be on. But instead of painting, I want to select. I'm gonna go to wireframe mode view so I can see the lines. So now I want to go to top view and then select the path I want the cities to go to. I think I made a mistake there. Nope, I gotta undo. Control Z. Control Z. And then select the path I want the cities to be. And then now we've selected it, we're gonna go back to color inside of it. Just that the selected path is where it's gonna be. So now I'm gonna go ahead and paint through there. I'm gonna zoom out so I could paint it faster. And there you go. You have the color right there. So when we, yep. So I'm gonna go to particles, add back the particles. It's not gonna take time because we didn't manually do it. We're gonna set it Y, and then we're gonna render it as collection, and I'm gonna pick our collection, the buildings collection, and I'm gonna scale this to 0.5. I think, yeah. So now I think we have too much buildings. We can see the buildings are like way too much. So I think I'm gonna decrease that instead. So first of all, I'm gonna select the density first. I'm gonna select that thing we made. So now the buildings are too much. I'm gonna go to emission and reduce it to 500. Still too much. I think 250 is gonna be good. Okay, and that looks better. Just so there's not too much buildings and the high chance of it overlapping each other. So now I'm gonna use the same thing because I want to create like a path for like water or road, but I'm gonna do water this time just because I did road before. So yeah, I'm gonna draw on the path I want water to be on. So I'm gonna use, I think, the circle select to color in water. So I'm gonna select just the way water passes through the city. And then I'm gonna subtractly paint it. I'm gonna paint that blue. I mean, it has to be blue or red. So now water is gonna pass through the city like that. Just that way. I'm gonna go to edit mode, keep the same selection. And now you notice there's water passing through. There's no water, I mean, you notice there's like a path through the city. And I'm gonna make that water. I'm gonna shift A, add a circle, and I'm gonna make this water. I'm gonna scale that up. Like a lot. So just so it looks like water. And then I'm gonna add a modifier, solidify, just so it looks thick. And then I'm gonna move it down a little bit so it doesn't overlap the floor. I'm gonna scale this up. And then I'm gonna go make it a water material. I'm gonna make it viewable. I'm gonna title this water. I'm gonna make it glass. Just so it's like shiny. And I'm gonna take down the roughness, which is basically the smoothness or the shininess of an object. So I'm gonna add a noise texture. I'm gonna speed up the node part again. So now I think this looks believably like a water. I'm gonna go back to rendered view, unhide the rest of them, and I'm gonna go back to my realistic mode. And because I don't like the lamp, I want to have like sky, like a blue sky. I'm gonna go to world tab on the tab menu, and then I'm gonna tap sky texture. So you're gonna notice it's gonna look like it is sky, and I don't like it like too bright. I'm gonna take down the light of it. I'm gonna take it to 0.1 so it doesn't look too dayish and have this cool blue texture of evening when I take it down. So now you know this is looking more like a city now with the lights, with the sky texture. So I'm gonna go and select. So now the buildings are too flat. I'm gonna add scale randomness and set it to 0.5 just so no building passes half of the normal buildings. So now we have varieties in height of the buildings. I'm gonna scale this up even more so it doesn't look, so the shortest building doesn't look too short. And there you go. You have a city. Made a bunch of cubes. Now if you can see, you can make this more by shifting the slide. The more this, why is it purple? The more there's this, so you want to make it light blue ish, that range, yeah, and then some blue. So just slide this. The more you slide it, the more you're gonna notice, like there's the top like blue, but instead I'm gonna invert this, because usually the top is lighter, just so there's a mixture of both. So I'm gonna make this something like this. So it just looks like a little bit better, more like a wavy with different colors of ocean. Then you want to just look for the color that you think will fit in best. And go with some cyan-ish color. So now this doesn't look that good, but at least you can use it. Okay, go crazy, but no. Okay, this one look good. You want it that off, and then you go back to layout, and then see what you have. I'm gonna unhide the rest. Then I'm gonna unhide the rest, and then you can see you have some cool city. You could just hide this, and then instead of just making here white, you can make that water too. So I'm gonna go back to this view. I'm gonna go to this. I'm gonna go to edit mode, and then using the path you selected before, go to weight paint. So now with this path, you could go to weight paint and select the boxes. And then you can select the boxes. I'm not gonna paint, I'm just gonna use the weight paint to see which ones, to see where I selected. So I selected these. So now I'm gonna go to edit mode, and it's gonna be those that are selected. Oh my god. And it's gonna be those that are selected. So I'm gonna create a new, I'm gonna go to object mode first. I'm gonna create a new texture. I'm gonna name this ground, normal ground. I'm gonna make it like sand color. Make this some dark brown. And then I'm gonna create a new material called the water. I'm gonna make this the water I created. So I'm gonna go back to edit mode and assign it water to that side. So when I go to viewport, you can notice the center of this is water, and the other side that just browns out. If you notice, this is water, and then this is brown. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to my camera view. I'm gonna alt hide this, and I'll make the camera even better view, because that doesn't look too great. I'm gonna change the camera to this view just so it gets the water looking thing better. Control, go back a little bit. Control Alt 0 to make this the camera. You know, I wanna make the camera even closer so it looks like better. Control Alt 0. So now this is the camera. So when I click on rendered view, you can notice, you can see it's kind of better now. Sounds like a city with water through the middle. So I'm gonna go back to edit mode since I don't like how I selected this whole part. So I'm gonna invert selection, and I'm gonna just select this part too, where I don't need. I'm gonna go in a little bit more because I feel like the cities are kind of going in. And then to make a difference, to make like cool parts, I'm gonna just select some parts. Just to make it different. So I'm gonna invert the selection and then assign it to the water. So now when I go to object mode, camera view, rendered view, oh okay, wait, it didn't change much because I didn't assign tab. Control I, I'm gonna assign ground to these. So Control I and then tab on edit mode. So I'll go back to camera view. So now you can see it looks better. If you want, you could go ahead and shape this sharp corners better and just make it look better. But I'm not gonna do that because for time's sake, I'm just gonna show you guys the water part. And then some buildings are going into the ocean, and I don't like that, and I can't change it. So what I'm gonna do is change the seed instead, because I can't move it individually. So changing the seed, just what randomness you want. So I'm gonna look for a randomness that doesn't show too much buildings that got in the water. So what about this one? Oh, I think this one got in 3. Okay, 3 looks good. No, this one got in 4. Okay, 5. 5 looks good. I'm gonna come back to 5. 6. No. Okay, 7. I'm gonna go to this view to see better than eat lagging. This one, can I move this? Okay, there we go. We have a good one. I don't think we added this one to buildings, do we? No. So that doesn't matter anyways at this point. But I mean, we could still add it. So I'm gonna go to my water part, and then I'm gonna add a new just building 5. I think I was building 4. I'm gonna add this texture, the color, just so it looks like this, looks like that. Yeah, I'm gonna type in edit mode. This is where I need to assign. No, I want to create a new material. I'm trying to write, because that's where I changed. So now I'm gonna assign the white to the top. I'm gonna insert faces, extrude on the Z axis. So we're basically done with that one. So you want to scale it up. No, all that. So by edit mode, you want to scale the whole building up and make sure it's sitting just at the floor. And then you're gonna add it to the buildings collection. You're gonna notice it's gonna add some flat buildings on it. So basically you're done creating a city. And if you want to take Blender to the advanced, you could create good looking animations, pixel level animations with Blender. So this is the final view. and I'm gonna get the sunset. So I'm gonna move the wood. I'm gonna move the light around. Rotation. I'm gonna rotate it so. Let's see. Where's the sun? Sun right there. So I'm gonna make the sun be around here. Sunset. Sunset. We just created a city in Blender that easily, and then you could go on ahead and render this so it looks better and all that stuff. If you want, you could create like clouds to make it look like it's big, but I'm just gonna stop here today. And you want to save this before you render, because you render, it's gonna lag a lot. So I'm gonna go to Blender projects. Just save it any way you want to save it. Just where you can find it, just like in the file. So now to render, after you cycle the engine and GPU compute, I'm not rendering a video. So, and I'm gonna save it just around downloads, no document. And I'm gonna come here, create a new folder called render. I'm gonna accept, and then I'm gonna render that there. Sampling. So I'm gonna render it at 100. I'm gonna render it at 200. So now I'm gonna go on ahead, save, and then click render. So there you go, guys. This is the final render. It doesn't look so great because it was low poly and there wasn't really much added to it. So yeah, thank you for watching. If you want to take more time, you could create more spaces and then add roads to this, just for like, I don't know, for fun and all that. I took an hour on this and I created one and added a car to the scene. You could download that for free in the description, and then you could just, I don't know, use that. It doesn't matter. So there you go, guys. This is the final render. It doesn't look so great because it was low poly and there wasn't really much added to it. So yeah, thank you for watching. If you want, to take more time, you could create more spaces and then add roads to this, just for like, I don't know, for fun and all that. I took an hour on this and I created one and added a car to the scene. You could download that for free in the description, and then you could just, I don't know, use that. It doesn't matter.